about to go down.
Lovely pass, and here he turns cleverly. Can he find a finish? Oh, he can!
Skilled by Joshua, and a return right hand. Good counter right. Bullen is hurt. Second right hand. That clipped him as well. Now he goes in for the kill.
Well, Ricciardo is inching into the lead, and Ricciardo that win the Italian Grand Prix!
Gonzalo running the floor.
Still leading the way with Canada in there too, with the Netherlands.
Musa makes it 4 goals in 2 World Cup matches.
The Monaco Grand Prix. Ricciardo triumphant in Monza.
Through Bowden, Barrett, and an early touch and an excellent.
Sports Orbit. We make the world go round.
Joined by 18 players for the FIBA World Cup Qualifiers in Angola. That will actually be coming up later this month. Also, they're going to be looking at the Super Eagles' chances of them getting to win their 4th AFCON title when the game get to kick off in January, right there in Cameroon. Also, sad news actually coming out from Napoli at this point in time that Victor Osimhen is out of the 2021 AFCON. It means that he's not going to be representing the country due to his injury. And also, we're going to be looking at the news coming from the Nigerian Professional Football League, where a date has been fixed for the resumption of the 2021-2022 season. Also, we're going to be looking at what went down in the in the Champions League yesterday, where Manchester United returned 2 winning ways with their new, interim manager, talking about Mark Carrick in that particular one. Ronaldo also break the Champions League goal scoring record in that particular match against Villarreal. This is how we're coming to yet another edition of Sports Orbit right here on the Leadership Podcast Studio. My name is Olawale Ayeni, and I am here in the studio with Alpha Acho, waiting to talk sport. As it is now, he's a happy man this beautiful Wednesday. How are you doing, Alpha?
I'm good. You can see that again, at least.
Really?
Sort of. We are through to the last 16. So, the knockout stage, from there, anything can happen, and we'll see how it goes.
Of course, let's wait and see what will really happen at the knockout stage. But we're still going to talk about the Champions League. But we need to start from the home front at this point in time, where can I say the Nigerian Basketball Federation at this point in time has invited 18 players, or the sports ministry has actually invited 18 players for the Tigers. They'll be actually playing the World Cup qualifiers right there in leadership crisis everywhere, right there in Angola, and they are drawn with Cape Verde, Mali, and Uganda, and that will be just the first phase of the World Cup qualifiers, which that will be opening that group game against Uganda November 28th. Just about 4 days to go in the camp.
Yeah, like you said, when I even saw this list of invited players, the first thing that came to my mind too was who was doing the inviting. Because usually, if it's football, it's usually the NFL, the federations are always responsible for doing this invitation. So in this case, it's the Ministry of Sports who is doing the inviting. But be that as it may be, like they say in show business, the show must always go on.
Of course.
Irrespective. I mean, we have the qualifiers to play some soon, and of course Nigeria has to be presented. So whoever's inviting should do. But of course, the Tigers captain Iko Diogo and Ben
return to the team after the absence from the
exactly. And of course a couple of about 4 or 5 home-based players have also been included. But the only place where I raised some sort of eyebrows in this invitation was that Coach Mike Brown, currently the coach of the Golden State Warriors, will not be in charge. It's a certain Yeah, Julius. Well, I don't know much about him, but he all
He's a
helped.
former Nigerian international.
Yeah. Like I said, but I don't know much about his coaching career and all of that. But of course, it's
Julius
good that he
also.
won the Russian league in '96 with CSK Moscow, played in 14 different countries and all of that. So he will be taking charge of the Tigers. So let's see. I hope it's good enough. And I really hope that we don't miss Mike Brown too much. But you see, this is the situation. We are supposed to have a coach who will always be on ground, not a coach who will be engaged with his team in the NBA. And we have a competition now, and he's not even available to, take charge of the team.
Because of the leadership crisis, Rocky,
But not just that, but I mean, he's the coach of the Golden State Warriors. The NBA season is currently on, so of course he can't leave the Golden State at this in the middle of the season and rush down to Nigeria to take charge of the Tigers at these qualifiers. So that would be like sort of divided attention, and he might not even put in his best. So let's see what Julius has to offer. And of course, simply enough, some home-based players have also been included in this list. So let's see what local lads will put when the
Olympic
competition.
Games, the Olympics, we struggle, we played against, I'm among the best in the world. And at this point in time, the certain African qualifier for the Olympic Games. This is not just after we play these qualifiers, it does not mean that we are qualified for the World Cup.
No,
We're still going to play, plenty of matches before getting the qualifying ticket. But do you think with the setup, leadership season with the setup of the Tigers at this point in time, can they get to qualify for the World Cup?
Sure, I think the leadership crisis hasn't really. Well,
it was not this bad before, but now it's getting worse.
Exactly. But I really hope that the Tigers, what happens on the court will be separated from what's going on in the boardroom, so to speak. Of course, we'll be playing Cape Verde, Mali, and Uganda. And I think when it comes to basketball, these are teams who are really not a match for Nigerians. But of course, you can never tell. We all had high hopes for them during the last African Championships, but they didn't go on to win the title as we all thought. But let's really hope that the leadership crisis at the moment will not impact negatively on what happens on the court.
And they actually won there are three, qualifying series to the 2019 World Cup in China, and hopefully actually continue that unbeaten run when they get to kickstart the campaign right there in Angola. Just to let you know, that we're playing Cape Verde, Mali, and Uganda. Looking at all those, three countries, I don't feel there will be any match for these guys. But don't write off Mali because they're very, very good side when it comes to basketball. Also, likes of Cape Verde, Uganda, just coming up in the game. But there's no more news when it comes to sport in Africa at this point in time. We might just get the shockings of our life if we get to take those teams for granted. But away from that, we're straight to football at this point in time, where the chances of Super Eagles are in the coming AFCON 2020 Alpha. Looking at the recent happening in the camp of the Super Eagles, will it say it will be easy for us to win our fourth AFCON title? The games in Cameroon, looking at the players themselves, the officials, the NFF, sport ministry, are we certain that we are going to win 2022 AFCON?
I'll be stretching it too far, in my opinion.
Some people say we should just get to make it out of the group stage first before we start.
In this kind of competitions, you usually take it one game as it comes. You can't even before kicking the ball, you can't start crowning yourself as the champions already. Then of course, we all know what's going on currently in the Super Eagles squad. Issues of the technical crew setup generally. We all know the issues surrounding Kenneth Raw. We believe you want to lead us up to the 2022 AFCON. As it is right now, we're not even certain of what's even happening.
But it's 7 days to go.
Exactly. Some have said, terminate his contract and let someone come in and take over the job. Some have made a case for him. Let's leave him till after the AFCON. Well, whichever way the Eagles might want to do it. Like I said here yesterday, it's better let's just leave him to take charge of the AFCON because I really think bringing a new coach at this point in time might destabilize, the team as it is. And talking of the realistic chance of the Eagles in AFCON, yes, if you ask me, do we have the squad to go all the way to challenge? This team we have on paper is good enough to challenge for any title.
But looking at the African ranking, we are actually ranked 5th in Africa. We have the likes of Senegal, Algeria.
Yeah, sometimes when it comes to the
Tunisia, ahead
tournament itself,
of the Super Eagles.
yeah, but sometimes when it comes to the tournament itself, the ranking sometimes becomes very insignificant. Sometimes teams who are even run lower go on to win tournaments of this sort. But the Super Eagles, I really can't say. I know every Nigerian will be expecting us to go there and challenge. I would love us to also go there and really win the title. But as it is right now, I really have my doubts. Because even if we bring a new coach in, because the names that have been touted around are not names that inspire confidence. The so-called from Serbia. In fact, just before we came onto this program, I was with a few colleagues and we were trying to Google him and see what he's achieved. But the records we saw was is not interesting at all, because he's been inspired twice from other clubs somewhere in East Europe. And so I said, if that kind of person who are fired from clubs who are not even renowned, or you want to bring to the Super Eagles, why not we just leave Genatro at this point in time to still take charge of the team? So, and of course, we all know the case with Osimhen now, so that means
of course, we're going to come.
Yeah, definitely. No, just talking of our chances.
But just looking at the squad, there was rumor that some players left the Super Eagles camp. At the night before the game against Cape Verde, for a kind of party. I don't know, but at this point in time, that not been confirmed yet. But how should we actually get to manage the excesses of this player?
Yeah, that's the thing. You see, whenever every coach for a team must have some set of rules. Generally, that's why even the Eagles, for instance, you have an English coordinator, Patrick Pascal. These are some of the things that the coordinator is supposed to do. There's supposed to be a set of rules for players, a set of, like a code of conduct guiding these players whenever you're in camp. There are some do's and don'ts when you're in camp, and this goes for every footballer all over the world. We all know even the case of the England national team. So I think last year when Phil Foden and of course Mr. Greenwood had to be sent back in because of breaking some camp rules while they were in the team hotel. They had to sneak out to go for some party, hanging out with some kinds of people like that, which was actually forbidden against camp rules and all of that. And we all saw how the English FA handled that. They immediately, dismissed from the camp and sent back to their clubs. But here in Nigeria, we heard of this case of indiscipline, but we haven't really come out to hear of any particular disciplinary measures that the NFF has taken to resolve this issue. So it's good to put all these disciplinary measures in place just to serve as a deterrent to others. Because if some players, allegedly were indulging this kind of things and you don't come down hard, next time again when you invite players for camp, some players might want to do the same thing because after all, what are the consequences?
Of course, it has happened in the past.
Yes, remember even some years back in the Nations Cup when
of course,
and some people packing, so it has always been a recurring thing in the Eagles. But I really think the NFF should really come out to properly investigate this matter. If the rumors we're hearing are anything to go by, the NFF should come and investigate this matter properly, and those who are found wanting should be disciplined.
Of course, but for now, we need to go for a break. When we come back, Victor Seve is set to meet the 2021 AFCON in Cameroon. We're going to talk about it, and also looking at the MPFL is set to resume in December. It's not going to be next day again. Going to resume in December, and also we are going to Europe to actually talk about what actually went down yesterday and what we should actually expect in today's Champions League matches. But for now, we'll go for a short break. When we come back, it's still spot on. We don't go nowhere.
It's about to go down.
second right hand. That clipped him as well. Now he goes in for the kill.
Well, Ricardo is inching into the lead, and Ricardo that win the Italian Grand Prix.
Iguodala running the floor.
Still leading the way with Canada in there too, with the Netherlands.
And Musa makes it 4 goals in 2 World Cup matches.
The Monaco Grand Prix. Ricardo triumphant in Monza.
Through Bowden, Barrett can an early touch and an excellent.
Sports Orbit. We make the world go round.
For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.
Welcome from that short break. You still spot on it right on the Leadership Podcast. We go straight to our next story where Victor Osimhen will actually be missing the 2021 AFCON tournament right there in Cameroon at this point in time. So sad. This was actually confirmed by his Italian side, talking about Napoli yesterday, that a successful chip operation was actually carried on his cheekbone and his eye socket at this point in time. He got injured during Napoli's 2-3 loss to Inter Milan on Sunday. At this point in time, after a successful injury, the doctors actually confirmed that Victor Osimhen will be out for 3 good months. Alpha, what does it mean for Super Eagles? What does this mean for Napoli at this point in time?
Huge blow to both his club and country. That's talking about Napoli and the Super Eagles. Like we said yesterday, when initially they said it was going to be 3 weeks. But of course, like I said, there were some other reports I saw that had said that it was going to be more than for that time. And now we're coming out to hear that it's actually 3 months, not even the 2 months as I expected. So, I mean, that definitely rules him out of AFCON completely. And that's a sad one even for the young one, because this should have been his very first AFCON proper for Nigeria, and he would have loved to participate in that, and at this point in time, he will be missing that. And we all know how he's participated so far, his contributions, even in the build-up to our qualifying a playoff place for the World Cup. So that's a big blow to him. And of course, this will also slow his Napoli career already, as it is right now. He's even the highest, the top scorer. So of course Napoli would miss his services very well, and Napoli are currently on top of the league. And of course, he has played a huge role in ensuring that Napoli are currently topping the Serie A. So for him to be out for 3 months, that's a whole lot of games that you miss. 3 months. That's like you're coming back in about March or February. By then the league would have even gone more than half. By the time he will be back, maybe we'll be talking about maybe another like 10, 15 more games to play in the league. So almost similar thing that happened to him last season, where he started, on a high, but was slowed down by injury. And same thing, because if not for this, a lot of people have touted him to emerge as the top scorer in Syria, because going by the way he was going. But this is a big blow, and I'm sure he won't be, the best of time. But good enough, he's had the surgery, and the surgery was successful. So now the process of rehabilitation begins for him, and that's what's going to take this time for him to properly recover.
You have a good replacement for Victor Sema at this point in time in the national team.
Of course, when it comes to the striking positions up front, we have an embarrassment of talents up front. Of course, Paul Onuachu is there. Of course, Awoni is still banging goals, even though Ro hasn't been convinced. But I think it's time, that the young one be really given an opportunity to prove himself. Because currently,
himself breaking
exactly,
for
outside, he's the third top scorer right now in the Bundesliga, outside of Lewandowski and Haaland. He's the next person. So for a player who has that kind of goal scoring amount of return, and can't even get into his national team, then something has to be wrong with technical team. So I want he should be considered. Paul Onuachu is doing good. Umar Sadiq is also, even though he plays in the lower division, but that doesn't matter. We have players who is coming from
the lower division, of course.
Exactly. We even have someone who is returning back to the team all the way from Saudi Arabia, and he has still found his way back to the team. So it's time we give these young players a time to really express themselves.
Of course, it's high time for me to give young players. We have the likes of actually mentioned Tao. For me, you should be actually given a chance. You should be the one leading Super Eagles attack in the absence of Victor Seme at this point in time, because looking at his performance and scoring really week out for Union Berlin that actually get to play in at the Bundesliga. But away from that, we still talk about football. We come back for right here, where the LMC is to ratify Owo's appointment as the CEO of the league management company of Nigeria. Talking about the company who are actually saddled with the responsibility to manage the Nigerian professional football league at this point. But news actually getting to us now is that the NPFL is finally back at this point in time. We are going to be seeing matches in December, and we already have week one fixtures for this particular league. Finally.
Good news, and from what we are hearing, LMC's decision to ratify some reports I heard that it was one of the reasons why the league actually did not keep up. The major sponsor of the league had said that until OMI assumes office,
before
they were not going to release funds for the takeoff of the league. And LMC have come out to say that, okay, on the 1st of December, during the Congress of the LMC, his appointment will be ratified. He was giving this appointment since last year, And
so is it that the sponsors will be the one to dictate who takes
I think the issue is this. Someone was named CEO designate since last year, but he didn't assume office. So I felt the sponsors felt that there's proper leadership of the league.
But sure, Nicholas still has a chairman.
No, he's the chairman, but
they're running
something lies with he's the CEO. So I think the sponsors felt that, okay, since the man who's supposed to be in charge of the day-to-day running of the league his appointment has not been ratified, so why release funds? Because he's the chief accounting officer and CEO. So if funds are released at the end of the day, he's the one who's supposed to, do the financial statements, account for the funds that have been released. So I think the company felt that if we release these funds, if anything goes wrong, who are we to hold responsible? Because tomorrow the LMC might tell you that the man was in acting capacity, so he's not responsible. So I think they wanted all to be sorted out. But good enough, LMC have come out to say that by the 1st of December, his appointment will be ratified, and in the same vein, the league will be kicking off. So I think that's a good one, and I hope that this won't have this kind of situation again where a league ends and we don't know where it's going to begin. But even if it begins in December, the AFCON.
Let's wait and see if you're not going to go on the festive break, and also AFCON also
Definitely,
will be
you know how
there.
it is.
And
They'll
I just
definitely
say,
go on the festive break.
and
And
I
by the
just
time
say,
they're
let's
returning,
go for
they are going
Cameroon
for AFCON.
2021. When we come back, we know what to do about
You know,
it.
so
But my producer, please, let's have the fixtures for match day one in the Nigerian Professional Football League at this point in time. It will be starting with Gombe United against the returning Shooting Stars to the Nigerian Professional Football League after going into relegation at the tail end of the upper season, and they are back to the Nigerian Top Flight League. We are going to be saying champions, talking about Aqua United, who actually went 18 matches unbeaten last season. We play host to Mesubida, talking about Kano Pillars. Also, Lundi Stars of Makodi. We host Rivers United, Castina United against Rangers International. Final, I beg your pardon, Eyimba versus Abia. That would be an Oriental derby in that particular one. Sean Stars again, Wiki Tories, the Nine Tornadoes against former champions, talking about Plateau United, Kwara United against Nankada, MFM versus Raymond Stars. That is going to be a baptism of fire for Raymond Stars as they make their return to the Nigerian Professional Football League. Heartland, who almost actually went to relegation last season, actually survived, and then we're playing certain Nassau United, who are actually 5 top cylinders at this point in time. Let's quickly get a reaction on the fixtures for the match day one in the Nigerian Professional Football League.
clearly the star match there, of course, will be champions Aqua United versus, of course, former champions Kano Pillars. That would be
The
a match, a match to look out for. And of course, the Imba Abia Warriors will also be, a tough one out there. Then we'll see what Remo Stars will have to offer when they confront MSM right there in Vegas. Tornadoes are also making a return.
Of course,
to the MPFL.
Niger Tornadoes and
Used to be a very tough team,
of course,
but
very tough team.
fell down, went down to the lower league, but they're back now. Of course, they'll be up against former champions Plateau United. We all know the pedigree of
course,
Plateau United and all of that. So it's going to be an interesting one, really.
Of course, feelers actually coming in that there's going to be a big sponsors for the Nigerian Professional Football League. It will be announced very, very soon, according to the information actually reaching me at this point in time, that every stakeholders in the NPFL should just go and be smiling because big money is coming into the league. But we'll keep our fingers crossed and see how that gets to pans out. But away from that, we head straight to the news coming from Germany at this point in time. Scoring goal for Union Berlin is to be successful. That is coming from Taiwo Awoni at this point in time. He has scored 13 goals in 20 appearances for Union Berlin this season. Impressive record for me from Mosey Alpha.
Yeah, I mean, we all know the pedigree of Taiwo Awoni, especially since this season began. He's been firing on all cylinders. That's a good one for him. So far, he has scored 13 goals in 20 matches he has featured in so far. So, a good one for him. And like I said earlier on, he should be seriously giving a look-in by the technical crew of the Super Eagles.
Of course, away from Germany, we are straight to England at this point in time, where Manchester United are interested in giving former Barcelona coach about Estilo Valverde as the interim coach after the sacking of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But in the match I was actually playing yesterday, we saw Michael Carrick, putting on the suit, and at least he was standing at the sideline, and eventually they got to win against Villa 2-0 in particular. But is Valverde the best man for Manchester United at this point?
Is there any coach who is the best for any club at any point? I think no, but the truth is, this team needs a coach, whatever it is. Of course, clearly Carrick is not the man to take United forward. Of course, even what they're even looking for right now is the manager who step in the interim to see what happens at the end of the season. If you be retained or if you now go for another coach. But I think Valverde is not a bad coach. So of course, in the past couple of days, so many names have been linked to United. So many names, every day one name or the other. So
let's start coach also.
Exactly. So at this point, it's just keep our fingers crossed until club makes an official announcement. Because every day, I'm sure, but before the end of this day, you hear maybe one or two names who are also linked to the job. So it's always like that when a top club are out there looking for a manager. So let's wait and see who they eventually appoint as the interim manager.
Of course, our own Samuel Chukwueze was in action for 30 minutes in Villarreal 2-0 lost against 2-0 lost against Manchester United right there in Spain yesterday. He actually tested just 30 minutes of the action in that particular. With that victory, Manchester United see their qualification to the last 16 of the UEFA Champions League at this point in time. 2-0 victory over Villarreal right there in Spain. For me, this is a big win for Manchester United with Michael Carrick.
Absolutely. At the point, we're looking like they might not even make it to the last. They are going to go back to the Europa League, which they have become so familiar with. But good enough, it had to take Ronaldo and Sancho strike for United to secure all 3 points and qualify for the last 16.
Of course, we saw some matches actually went down yesterday right there at the Champions League. But Chelsea defeated Juventus 4 in that particular one played at Stamford yesterday. It was festivals of goal for Thomas Tuchel's side that they went on a rampage. They actually getting to defeat Juventus right left and center. Also, we see likes of Jerome Kiev actually lost the home to Bayern Munich. That's the first Champions League win for Xavi Hernandez. We saw, Young Boys and Atlanta playing a 3-3. Jerome Kiev played against Bayern Munich. It was 1-2 in favor of Bayern Munich. As you can see on your screen, Sevilla won Wolfsburg 2-0. Mamu 1-1 against St. Petersburg. And we actually saw Barcelona playing 0-0 against Benfica. In the first match, Benfica actually defeated Barcelona, but in the second leg, it was 0-0, that they actually get to play out. But quickly, let's get a reaction on all these matches that was actually decided yesterday.
Of course, Chelsea were, completely outclassed Juventus. And this Juventus is the hideous defeat in the Champions League. Of course,
looking at 12 years record of not winning, Juve.
So, of course, Barcelona drew down on 0-0. We were hoping for a Barcelona victory, but they'll have to wait till the final match of this round to even know if to be sure of their qualification. Of course, Sevilla 2-0 up against Wolfsburg, Lille winners against Salzburg, and of course, Young Boys drew down all three in Atlanta. And Atlanta will have to beat Villarreal at home to ensure that they qualify. So, good games. Let's go forward and look forward to what the Champions League have in store for us today.
Of course, my producer can have these pictures. Okay, I see Besiktas against Ajax, Inter versus Shakhtar Donetsk, Bruges against Leipzig, Manchester City versus Paris Saint-Germain. That is the star match for today. Atletico Madrid against AC Milan, another star match. Liverpool against former champions, talking about Porto. Sporting against Borussia Dortmund. Then Sheriff against Real Madrid. In the first leg, Sheriff actually went to Spain to defeat Real Madrid. We're going to see that happening later today. We wait and see what is going to find out. But Manchester City against Paris Saint-Germain. Pep Guardiola will be up against Mauricio Pochettino.
Tough match. The first encounter, Man City won that one. So Paris now coming back to, of course, certain Messi will be facing his former boss. Let's see how that one pans out. Of course, Atletico, AC Milan will be also another tough encounter. Liverpool, Porto, I think this will be a routine
for Liverpool.
Yeah, for Liverpool. I mean, considering they even transfer to 5-0 out there in Portugal. So this will be a routine victory for Liverpool. Of course, Sheriff, Real Madrid, Ajax, Besiktas. Some interesting games to look out for.
Can Borussia Dortmund actually make it out of that particular group? Because they have been performing, badly in the last
two games. Have not been consistent. But I fancy them getting a win against Sporting in this match tonight.
Of course, that is the fixtures that we have in the Champions League for today. Tomorrow will be for the lower guys talking about the Europa League. Was just so sad that Arsenal also is not in Europa League. But let's just wait and see until the end of the season if they can actually qualify for the Champions League or for the Europa League. But this is where I'm trying to cut in for Sports of It. It has been nice, talking sports with Alpha actually right here in the studio. Of course, our viewers, it was nice, having you around, talking sports with you guys. We make a return big and better tomorrow with yet another edition of Sports of It. Very, big thanks to Oscar and the team who are actually, doing a very, good job in producing this show today. But for now, we're saying do have a good day ahead of you. Bye-bye for now, and God bless.
Thank you for watching. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.